Picture this. You're exploring a beautiful Italian city, maybe Florence, Rome, or Venice. You've had a delicious cappuccino, strolled through the piazza, and suddenly, you need to find the bathroom. You look around, but the signs aren't always clear. You could ask in English, but it feels awkward, and sometimes people just point vaguely. Now imagine instead, you walk up to someone and confidently ask, "Dov'è il bagno?" Polite and instantly understood. By the end of this video, you'll know not just how to ask for the bathroom, but also how to understand the directions people give you, like on the right, at the back, or upstairs. Finding the bathroom is one of the most universal needs. And in Italy, knowing how to ask for it makes a huge difference. In cafés and restaurants, bathrooms are often reserved for customers, so asking politely in Italian will make people more willing to help you. And in public spaces, you might see signs that say WC, toilette, or even servizi. All of these mean bathroom. Even if this is your very first time speaking Italian, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a short, powerful phrase you can actually use in real life, plus the confidence to understand the answer when someone gives you directions. Here is the phrase you will use again and again when you need the bathroom in Italy. Dov'è il bagno? Where is the bathroom? Let's repeat it together, step by step. Dov'è il bagno? Now a bit faster. Dov'è il bagno? Imagine the situation. You're in a cafe in Rome. You finish your espresso, walk up to the counter, and ask the barista, "Dov'è il bagno?" Or maybe you're in a train station in Florence. You can't find the restroom sign, so you politely stop someone and say, "Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno?" Excuse me, where is the bathroom? And in a restaurant in Naples, after a big meal, you ask the waiter, "Per favore, dov'è il bagno?" Please, where is the bathroom? Each of these is short, simple, and immediately useful. With just this phrase, you can handle one of the most common everyday situations in Italy. Let's take a closer look at our phrase, "Dov'è il bagno?" It begins with dove, which means where. In everyday Italian, went'aveth. When dove comes before a word that starts with a vowel, like yindoda'e, is, the final a is dropped and it becomes dove. It's faster, smoother, and the way Italians actually speak. Then we have e, which simply means is. Finally, il bagno, literally the bathroom. So word by word, where is the bathroom? This phrase is direct, polite, and clear. If you want to make it even softer, you can add "Oh, mi scusi, before it, which means excuse me. For example, "Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno?" Or you can add per favore at the end to be extra polite. Dov'è il bagno, per favore? The grammar is simple, but the cultural detail matters. Italians really appreciate when you add these polite touches. It shows respect and makes the exchange friendlier. Let's make this phrase part of your reflexes. I'll guide you through repetition. Then we'll add variations so you're ready for real situations. First, repeat the base phrase with me 3 times. Dov'è il bagno? Dov'è il bagno? Dov'è il bagno? Excellent. Now let's add a polite opening. Repeat. Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? One more time. Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? And now with an extra polite closing. Dov'è il bagno, per favore? You see how small changes can make the phrase even warmer and more respectful. Now let's practice with different words Italians also use for bathroom. At times you might hear la toilette. Repeat, dove la toilette? You could also hear ai servizi. That's very common in public places like train stations. Repeat, dove I servizi? And another very common one on signs is OWC. Pronounced vici. Repeat, dove il vici? Now you know not just one phrase, but several interchangeable ways of asking. Let's go one step further. Practice adding directions you might hear in reply. I'll say it in Italian, and you repeat after me. A destra, to the right. A sinistra, to the left. In fondo, at the back. Di sopra, upstairs. Di sotto, Downstairs. Now let's combine. Imagine you ask, Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? And the person answers, In fondo a destra. At the back on the right. Repeat with me. In fondo a destra. Another one. Dov'è la toilette? The answer could be, Di sopra a sinistra. Upstairs on the left. Repeat. Di sopra a sinistra. This practice is powerful because you're not only asking the question, but also preparing to understand the reply. That way, when you really need it, you won't freeze. You'll know exactly what to listen for. Now let's do a quick challenge. I'll say the situation in English, and you try to say it in Italian before I give the answer. Ready? You stop a stranger in the street and politely ask, Excuse me, where is the bathroom? Answer, Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? You're in a train station and you want to sound extra polite. Where is the restroom, please? Answer, Dov'è la toilette, per favore? Bravissimo! By repeating these variations, you're building automatic confidence. Next time you're in Italy, the words will come to your tongue without hesitation. Now that you've mastered Dov'è il bagno? But let's expand with more vocabulary you'll actually hear in this situation. This way, even if someone answers quickly, you'll recognize the words. First, some common directions you might hear after asking, A destra. To the right. A sinistra. To the left. In fondo. At the back. Accanto alla casa. Next to the register. Adietro la porta. Behind the door. Now, let's make little sentences with these. Repeat with me. Il bagno è a destra. The bathroom is on the right. Il bagno è a sinistra. The bathroom is on the left. Il bagno è in fondo. The bathroom is at the back. Il bagno è accanto alla cassa. The bathroom is next to the register. Il bagno è dietro la porta. The bathroom is behind the door. Perfect. You're not just asking, you're also starting to understand the answers. Now let's add some alternative words for bathroom. Italians use several. Il bagno. The most common, literally bathroom. La toilette. A bit more formal, often seen on signs. I servizi. Literally the services, common in public places. So you can swap these words depending on the situation. For example, Mi scusi, dov'è la toilette? Dov'è I servizi? Finally, a useful phrase if the bathroom is occupied. È occupato. It's occupied. And if it's free, è libero. It's free. Try saying them. È occupato. È libero. These little extras will make you much more prepared for real-life exchanges. You're not just asking anymore. You're equipped for the whole interaction. Bathrooms in Italy have their own little cultural quirks. Knowing them can save you time and a bit of confusion. First, in many cafés and restaurants, bathrooms are reserved for customers. If you order even a small coffee at the bar, you'll be welcome to use the facilities. If you just walk in and ask, sometimes the staff may say no, unless you're polite and clear in Italian. That's why Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? Works so well. Another detail. On signs, you might not always see the word no bagno. You'll often see a quote of toilette or servizi. Both mean bathroom. So if you're reading signs, those are the words to look for. Here's something charming. In older Italian towns, public restrooms are often hidden underground or tucked into small courtyards. Don't be surprised if someone points you in fondo to the very back of a piazza, or di sotto, downstairs, where the bathroom is out of sight. And finally, remember, in many public bathrooms, especially at train stations, there's a small fee to enter. Sometimes you'll pay a person at a little counter, sometimes there's a turnstile. So carrying a €1 coin can be very useful. These little details show how much culture is packed into something as simple as finding the bathroom. Let's wrap up by going back to our key phrase. Dov'è il bagno? Where is the bathroom? Such a short question, but incredibly powerful. With it, you can navigate cafes, restaurants, train stations, and city streets without hesitation. Along the way, you also practiced polite forms. Mi scusi, dov'è il bagno? Excuse me, where is the bathroom? Dov'è il bagno, per favore? Where is the bathroom, please? And you learned to recognize the alternatives Italians use. La toilette, I servizi, and of course the classic il bagno. On top of that, you've now got the most common directions ready. A destra, a sinistra, in fondo, di sopra, di sotto. That means you're not just asking anymore. You're also ready to understand the answer. Think about it. In less than 15 minutes, you've gone from not knowing how to ask at all to being able to confidently handle one of the most practical everyday situations in Italy. Now, a question for you. If you were in Italy tomorrow, would you be ready to ask for the bathroom in Italian? Say it out loud right now. Bravissimo! If this video helped you, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. That way you'll keep building your Italian, phrase by phrase, step by step, until speaking starts to feel natural. Alla prossima!